Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, stay live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve Larson. Man, every 3 months or so, AEW's Dynamite after said pay-per-view.
After pay-per-view, yeah.
Are always a stellar. What do I always say Tony Khan likes to do? He likes to take an idea that WWE has. Raws after WrestleMania, right? But these days, Raws after WrestleMania generally suck. Right. Poop sound. It's a poop sound. And so, it killed your mic. Hey, try to say something.
Hi.
Oh, okay, good. Zoom is totally censoring you. That's hilarious.
How dare you? How dare you, Zoom, censor my fart noises?
It's like MJF in his pipe bomb tonight. So tonight, MJF was scheduled. Let's get into this. MJF was scheduled to be at Dynamite. He was advertised to be on Dynamite.
We hear from MJF. That's what.
That's what it was. And boy, did we hear from MJF.
Oh yeah, we did.
Boy, oh boy, he dropped what everybody's calling the modern day pipe bomb. He's taken.
I think beyond just the content of it, the structure of it was very reminiscent of Punk's pipe bomb. Of course, the most obvious analogy is they cut him off. They cut his mic off.
Yeah,
cut his mic off at the end. Just like they did with Punk. And granted, the circumstances were different. Punk unhappy with a variety of things in WWE. MJF unhappy with his contract situation. But in terms of the passion, the content, the believability, it's both there. It's there.
Took a situation that is widely believed to have been a real life one that has been simmering behind the scenes, seemingly blew up this past weekend, and there was reports that a get together, a meeting of the minds was supposed to take place. Nobody knows what exactly came of that, but seemingly in the at least short term, they've gotten to the point where they can take that real life thing and turn into a compelling TV angle. The promo from MJF tonight was spectacular. It honestly, it's going to be remembered for a very long time. Yeah. And I mean, will it be remembered the same as the pipe bomb is such a singular, original thing?
Well, I think also, sorry to interrupt, that promo was kind of a pivot point too. It was a pivot, even though it was relatively short, although Punk got the title back, away from Cena leading the company to okay, let's give Punk the title and see if he could run with it. And granted, there was some detours along the way, like losing to Triple H, getting cashed in on by Del Rio, but eventually he got it back a few months later and had a really long reign with the title. Now it remains to be seen if this particular promo is a pivot point in any sort of way whatsoever. I mean, it's all there for him to beat. It was there before, but doubly so now. It's all there for him to beat Punk for that title. Assuming he and Tony Khan work things out to the extent where Tony Khan feels comfortable having MJF be his champion. It's there.
As sort of, I'm not going to use that term. As sort of like, I don't know, paint by numbers as the Wardlow match was at Double or Nothing. This felt the extreme opposite of that. This seemed like he was motivated. He was passionate. He gave everything he had. This seemed to be the promo that he's been building to since day one in AEW. This was his moment to shine, and he had the crowd in the palm of his hand. They were doing everything. They were responding to every little thing that he said, whether it was about them, whether it was about Tony Khan. And then in the end, the big story beat came where he got to his point. Tony Khan, I want you to fire me. I'm begging you to fire me, you fucking mark, is the term he used. And then that's when they cut off the mic, which is the most obvious callback to the pipe bomb. And yeah, that does make for an intriguing story beat. What happens now? I mean, are they going to kayfabe him being fired? And he's going to go, like I mentioned earlier, Tony often likes to use good ideas from wrestling's past and then expand upon them and possibly make them better. And the idea that, you and I have talked about this endlessly whenever we've talked about the pipe bomb, when CM Punk said, I'm going to go to Ring of Honor, I'm going to go to New Japan and defend this title. Now, let's say MJF gets fired because he said it. It's a thing that he says, I dare you to fire me. Number one, is this going to involve Tony Khan on screen? You would think it would maybe have to. This is an opening salvo aimed at a specific person.
It is, and is hesitant as Tony Khan seems to be an on-screen character. At a certain point, you think he would have to get involved on camera to address this. Whether he, I'd be surprised if it happened soon. That seems like something that's going to happen down the line after MJF has kind of pushed Tony Khan's buttons enough. I don't know. That's the intriguing part about this is he comes out and says, Tony Khan, I want you to fire me. Oh, where's this going to go? Because I don't know. Short term, I have no idea.
Yeah. I do think that if, assuming all the sides come together and they do agree on whatever contractual issues that'll keep MJF in the company till at least 2024 or whatever, it absolutely feels like he's going to be the guy that takes it off CM Punk, whether it's shockingly in Chicago at All Out after a summer of Punk, or at like Full Gear Revolution. Maybe they'll try to do Full Gear closer to MJF's hometown. I mean, I don't know if they could do it in Long Island. Could you imagine the roof coming off that place if MJF wins there? Because he likes to give real crowd pleasers. Like the one time they had, like, Kenny was a heel, and that happened on TV when he won the title, as opposed to pay-per-view. It'll be interesting to see how all that goes down, where it takes place, because I do fully expect if MJF's going to stick around, then he'll absolutely be the guy to take that title off Punk. I mean, people are mentioning here off camera, and they had to know that this was going to get out. To add to the drama, CM Punk came out to try to evidently make an appeal to MJF. MJF disappeared through the crowd. That was during the commercial. Otherwise, it was a really, really fun episode of Dynamite.
It was. We got our second match for Forbidden Door, of course, last week. Looks like we're getting FTR versus Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan. Confirmed tonight, we're getting CM Punk versus Go Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. That's exciting. There's obviously a lot of huge names in both AEW and New Japan, and you can mix and match those names and all sorts of different combinations. You can get a hell of a show. Who is Okada going to face? Who's Naito going to face? So on and so forth. We don't know. We're getting a little hint, or the Forbidden Door is cracking a little bit early, because next week we're getting Hangman Page versus David Finlay.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe next week we'll get a count out episode where we sort of start putting those pieces into place. That's always fun.
That is fun.
Fantasy booking stuff.
Same here.
We'll do that for count out. Because dude, I mean, you and I were texting a little bit. Some of the more obvious ones. Bryan Danielson versus Dick Togo clearly is direction they want to go. I mean,
really, it's top 10 dream matches for Dick Togo at AEW. That's really what the count out should be.
That's what the count out's going to be. No, I think Okada versus Danielson has got to be the match. Okada's the champion. He's taking on Jay White. I doubt they do a title change at Dominion. I don't know.
I mean, they're really pushing Bullet Club, but I mean, they're putting Okada back as top guy, so I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they push Bullet Club in order just to snap him back at Dominion, because I feel like the United Empire is going to get those tag titles back. I mean, they got Chase Owens and Fale. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it's Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb. They got it.
I know.
Anyways,
let's talk about Miro, because Miro came back. I was sitting here in my house by myself, and I was pumping my fists, saying Miro, because I was so excited. I love Miro. Miro is great. He's back. His neck of sand has been repaired. His broken heart hasn't. So he's going to find his God and break his God's heart too.
Yeah. What did he say here? He said, where is it? So he says, the bastard, the punks, the cowboys, I'll help them all so I can get closer to my God. My neck of sand is healed, but my heart is not. I want to go to my God and take his. I'm assuming this isn't verbatim because you're probably soaking it in. But there was one part where he ripped off the wedding ring around it because he had it on a necklace. And he's on a seemingly a more intense mission. Now it's not just I want to get my title so I can get some for my wife. It's not that anymore. Now it's he basically wants to replace God of some sort. He wants to get up there and see the big man upstairs. Yeah, and he's going to use professional wrestling to get there.
I know, it's brilliant.
A religious experience if I've ever heard of one.
Such a brilliant character, so different.
Mm-hmm.
And everything about how Miro performs this character is so perfect. His promos, perfect. His wrestling style matches the character. Everything about this is great. I'm happy Miro's back. I've missed him. Been waiting for months to see Miro back. Man, so happy to see Miro back.
I was so happy to hear William Regal mutter the words they brought him in to shout, "Blood and Guts," which is happening June 26th or something.
29th. 29th. Dynamite after Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to get Blood and Guts, Jericho Appreciation Society. No doubt it's going to be the same two teams as we just saw. Because Mox signed up. Eddie Kingston threw down the gauntlet, so to speak. And
it'll be interesting to see if they can convince Danielson to be a part of it. Or if since Wheeler Yuta will be back, if Danielson will be like, I'm not teaming with Kingston, period.
Well, they gotta have him there because that's the drama. You know, it's like this guy lit me. He poured gasoline on me. Now, how can he get on the same page for Blood and Guts? Eddie Kingston has to say, "Hey, look, brother, sorry about that," which you don't really see Eddie Kingston doing, which is why it'll be awesome. So I'm looking forward to that one. You know, Moxley's going to have to play mediator, and that's a mess. That's going to be the most fun, as opposed to Danielson just saying, "I don't want to do that."
Here's the thing I'm interested in, though, because with Blood and Guts being the Wednesday after Forbidden Door and people involved in the Blood and Guts match having their own story going on, are we going to see the participants in the Blood and Guts match maybe not be involved in Forbidden Door?
Possible.
Because they already got their own thing going on. I don't know if they want to interrupt that a little bit to get them, Forbidden Door matches. I don't know for sure.
Well, the thing about Danielson is he's singular in that dude would wrestle every day.
He would
every damn day.
I mean, here's a way they could maybe use Forbidden Door to build the story of Blood and Guts. If this thing where it's like, okay, Kingston and Danielson, the two of you have to tag together against, Guerrillas of Destiny,
Dick Togo and Evil.
And Evil, sure, yeah, for a team building exercise.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be cool.
Against the Dangerous Techers, so we get Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. in the ring.
That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. That was really good stuff. And and there you go. Athena had her first interview, and that, of course, sort of is leading in the direction that we last saw them there at Double or Nothing. Looks like we're getting a 6-woman tag match coming up soon. Did they announce that at the end of the show? I didn't notice.
No, they didn't.
All right.
So I would assume next week on Dynamite.
They had a very intense face-off that didn't lead to any physicality until the refs showed up to break up a physical war of words, or a non-physical war of words.
Yeah, it's because Stokely says security.
Yeah.
Security, and then the rest
happened. Nothing's going on, man. It's all good.
I know.
Anyways, before we get diving into our recap, let's take a break to pay some bills. Larson, what do you say?
Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp Online Therapy. Steve, life can be overwhelming at times, and it's really easy to feel burned out without really realizing it. And while burnout is often associated with work, any of life's roles could lead to burnout.
True, man. So if you're feeling fatigued, irritable, or unmotivated, you could be dealing with burnout. And BetterHelp wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking to someone can help you find out what's causing the stress in your life.
Yeah, I've been there before. I've felt that fatigue, that lack of motivation, that irritability that comes with burnout. And I've gone through the process of trying to find a therapist, so I know how difficult it can be to find the right person to talk to. But BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
It's also much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you could be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. So it kicked off with CM Punk, the new champion. Hey, what'd you think of the new setup there?
Oh, I thought it looked great. I love the Trons at the back of the tunnel.
The thing that I love about it is that, especially, I noticed this mainly, but I know they did in other entrances. Garcia's entrance, they had like on the Trons, the tunnel Trons, they had like swirling vortex.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it's like, ooh, he's dropping
like
out of hyperspace. Yeah, it's raw. It's a couple of raw gates. It's a good guy, bad guy raw gate.
Yep.
Man, tell me Tony Khan isn't a massive mark for Going In Raw, Larson. Anyways,
or at least we book Raw.
Yeah, it was CM Punk and FTR versus Max Caster and Gun Club. Big pop, of course, for Punk. Max Caster did another one of his raps. Again, I love how softball these are. He referenced the Amber Heard, with $15 million judgment against her or whatever it was. So that was pretty funny. And then Austin Gunn gets the mic, shouts out Sacramento. Of course, they're in Los Angeles. And
so
then
that gets booze. That gets a lot of booze.
That gets booze. The other one shouted out San Diego.
Yeah.
And then what's his face?
And then Bowen says, "Let me do this."
He does it
Los
properly.
Angeles. Yeah.
So anyways,
fun match,
good
though.
match. Go ahead.
It's a fun match. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun match.
We're doing the thing
match.
where we're both talking at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Here, I'll give you the tag, brother.
All right, I'm in, brother. So down the stretch, Austin's. Let me go back a little bit. There's this great bit where Billy gets on the apron to distract Punk, and then Austin tries to roll him, gets it to Austin's looking for a famouser. So Punk catches him, kind of has to power him up. Actually, kind of impressive with one arm, and then power bombs him into Billy's legs, knock Billy off the apron, and then Punk hits Austin with the GTS, tags in FTR. They hit Shatter Machine to get the win. After the match, Punk grabs the mic, and there's a couple spots in the match where Punk wasn't totally smooth, and that's coming on the heels of him not being really that smooth with trying to hit the buckshot lariat against Page at Double or Nothing. And he says, I've never done drugs in my life. I imagine that's what it feels like. He says, I still got a lot of work to do, and I know I got to get better, and that's what this title is about. He says, I wouldn't be here if my road to success wasn't littered with mistakes. I got to get better, and I'm going to get better. You can call me anything you want, positive or negative, but you got to call me champ. And then Dax talks about how much pro wrestling means to him. He says his wife and daughter are in the crowd, and the only things in the world that mean more to him than pro wrestling. So when someone comes out and attacks him and Cash, it doesn't sit well with them. And that's when Punk says, that brings us to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm standing in this ring with two of the best in the world. We've got a pay-per-view to sell. So tell me who I got. Tell me who I got. I know you're back there. Tell me who I got.
Go Ace.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hiroshi Tanahashi comes out. Go Ace, the Ace of New Japan. So is this going to be for the title of Ace of New Japan, Larson? CM Punk, new Ace of New Japan?
I don't think there can be any titles on the line, whether it be the AEW title, the title of Ace of New Japan. No titles.
Well, you texted me that. I thought it was funny. After that, we had MJF come out for his promo. He says, I'm in a lot of pain right now after what happened on Sunday. He says, all the people want to do is hear me talk. So fine, I'll talk. But this is Max Friedman talking. He's shooting hard, Larson.
Yes, he is.
He says, big merger, boss. A lot of important executives here to watch your product. Be ashamed if something happened that would be embarrassing. Speaking of embarrassing, you've been trying to sit down and hash things out with me. Well, you know what? Too little, too late. When this company started, everybody was handed a ticket except for me. He called it, what did he say? It was like a friends-only company.
Yeah.
He said, I had to pen my own ticket. He says, I created moment after moment after moment for the company, and I still got no respect. He says, everything I touch turned to gold. There's nothing I can't do. Every time I come out, I'm expected to hit grand slams, and I do it on a weekly basis. He says, I've been held under a microscope because I'm the only guy who can carry the company on my back like I have for months. He says, ask the fans who cheer for me he asked the fans who cheer for him. He says, I hear some cheers out there. Where were you when you were calling me an unprofessional piece of shit? And to all the boys in the back who want my spot, you guys can have it. I don't even want to be here anymore. He goes on to call the fans uneducated marks. He says, you guys tweet out your opinions like they're worth a damn, and you guys don't know shit, and your opinion sucks, and they change at the drop of a dime. You say one thing, and then you say the other thing a couple weeks later, and you claim that it's the same one you always had. He says, newsflash, I'm the best because I'm the only guy who makes you feel, and unlike those boys in the back, I don't have to do a bunch of bullshit to get you there. He says, I'm a generational talent, and the fans take me for granted. But it's not just you guys. It's the big man in the back, too. And there's like an audible ooh in the crowd. He says, here's something he doesn't want you to know. He says, I'm the second biggest minute-for-minute draw in the company. He says, but don't ask him to reach in his pocket and pay the guy who's been busting his ass since day one. No, he hoards all that money to pay the ex-WWE guys he keeps bringing in who can't lace my boots. He says, boss, and he looks in the camera. He says, would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy? He says, here's the problem with you, boss. You've got a position of authority when the only position you should have is behind the guardrails with the rest of these people. He says, I don't want to wait till 2024. He says, and he looks dead in the camera. He says, I want you to fire me. He says, you fucking mark, fire me. And then his mic gets cut. And he just keeps on going. And somebody posted, probably from the fight broadcast, the unedited footage of it. And yeah, there was a lot of cursing there. It was great.
There was a lot of cussing. Yeah. It was fantastic. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Fantastic stuff. After that, we had Johnny Elite, who issued an open challenge. It was answered by the Redeemer himself, Miro, before the match. We got a Miro promo. It says, it's been a long, long time. I've been thinking, waiting, healing. It says, everything that you, my God, put me through made me realize I need to get closer to you. And when I do that, I said, I'll help the bastard. I'll help the punks. I'll help the cowboys. I'll help them all so I can get closer to you, my God. My neck of sand is healed, but my heart is not. I want to get to you and take your heart. The Redeemer is back.
Yeah.
And he beat the shit out of Johnny Elite.
Johnny Elite is great at getting the shit beat out of him, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
And his that game over when he locked on the accolade, oh my God, he bent him back. Mm-hmm. And he tapped out. Johnny Elite tapped out after both a Machka kick and a game over. And Miro wins this one pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Elite got some of his shit in, but Miro beat the heck out of him. Mm-hmm. Beat the heck out of him.
Yep.
We get a quick Anarchy in the arena video package. They must have had some really good cameras shooting B-roll during that match because they got a lot of great slow-mo stuff, with good depth of field, the people bleeding, punching, and doing crazy stuff. It was great. So then Jericho Appreciation Society comes out for a promo. Jericho tells the truck to shut off Judas. Angela Parker says a double or nothing. They dominated Anarchy in the arena. Therefore, AEW Galaxy, appreciate us.
Appreciate us. Sounds familiar.
Daddy Magic gets on the mic, dubs them the Princes of Pain. Nobody does it better than them. Then Jericho says, fans, you don't deserve to sing Judas. What you deserve is the winners of Anarchy in the arena. Jericho Appreciation Society, but winning that match was not without a price. He talks about all the physical toll that match took on all of them. And he said, then that psycho Eddie Kingston came to the ring with a gas can, pours gasoline all over me and wants to light me on fire. What kind of man burns another man? A coward. That's who. He says, and then there's Danielson. He says at the end of the match, I'm going to kick your fucking head in. Well, after he said that, he says, I and Hager choked him out.
I like how he said the word because he said at the end of the match, he says, I'm going to kick his expletive head in.
Yeah. He says, but I and Hager choked him out, and he lost the match, and he's not here tonight. He says, but that's the same thing Garcia is going to do tonight to Mox. Every time sports entertainers take on pro wrestlers, sports entertainers always win. Eddie Kingston comes out with Regal, and he goes, I'll fight all year right now. He says, Daniel Bryan, he hates me. He says, I haven't spoken to Mox in weeks. He says, I'll fight you all right now. He says, Ortiz is the only one who's speaking to me. And he says, Regal, tell him how I want to fight him. And so Regal grabs the mic and he says, blood and guts. And Jericho says, you want blood and guts? He says, Eddie, you're not getting that. He tells Jericho Appreciation Society to attack him. They do. He says, I'm not going to be in the cage. You're the one, Eddie, that deserves to be in cage, not any of them. Ortiz gets in the ring, smacks Jericho with that loaded sock, starts cutting off Jericho's hair. Rest of Jericho Appreciation Society hits the ring to make the save, so Ortiz goes stands with Eddie. Jericho calls Ortiz a stupid son of a bitch, says his hair is worth more than Ortiz's existence. If they want blood and guts, they got it. But in order to get the match, he wants something. Jericho versus Ortiz, hair versus hair. Says, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to shave him. I'm going to burn him because I'm a wizard.
Because I'm a wizard. We had a little footage from after Samoa Joe's match at Double or Nothing. He's about to be interviewed. He's attacked by Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh, and they target his already injured shoulder. So, yeah, that'll probably pick up on Rampage or something.
I would imagine.
After that, we had Redragon, Ikaleu, and the Young Bucks versus Matt Hardy, Darby Allin, Jurassic Express, Adam Cole, Bebe joins commentary. Of course, he's got that great Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Cup thing, tournament belt with him. Looks great. Britt had hers too. Great. This was a fun match.
It was like a PWG tag match.
Yeah, which is pretty much every multi-man tag match in AEW.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, it's good stuff. It's fun stuff.
It was fun. So there's a stretch towards the end where Matt Hardy's bashing everybody's head to the turnbuckle until he comes to Hikuleu. He can't do it. Christian, though, hits Hikuleu with the missile drop kick. Matt Hardy falls with twist of fate. He and Christian send him out of the ring. Christian hits him with a spear off the apron. The match just breaks down, and the Young Bucks are just hitting everybody with super kicks. They're looking for a BTE trigger on Jungle Boy. Matt Hardy breaks that up. Redragon hits Hardy with total elimination, and then the Bucks hit Jungle Boy with the Meltzer driver to get the win. So you got to think we're going to get Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express sometime soon, since they just pinned one of the tag champs.
How long are they going to be on the West Coast?
Where have Ontario on Friday for a live Rampage, and that's it.
Isn't Ontario like closer to the Young Bucks like home territory?
Yeah, it's real close to Rancho Cucamonga.
What do they announce? What do they announce?
Young Bucks are facing Lucha Bros on Rampage.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go then. Okay. Well, never mind. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. After that, we had a Swerve and Keith Lee interview. Swerve introduced a bunch of people. Designer Jeff Hamilton presented Swerve with a one-of-one jacket for his entrance attire.
Yeah. And then Swerve's like, you got Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq. He lists off a bunch of a pair of Laker stars that were pairs, and says you got two stars, but they make up one team. And Keith Lee says, yes, and that's us. And as far as winning championships, that's going to happen with us too, essentially. And when we do, you're all going to swerve in our glory.
Yep. After that, we had an Athena interview. She comes out. She says, finally, I can say that Athena is all elite. And she says, it's not a surprise why I'm here. The competition of the top tier of women in AEW. She says the TBS champ, Jade Cargill. And then she tells Jade all streaks were made to be broken, and I'm going to be the one to break hers. Of course, that brings Jade out. She interrupts. She interrupts by saying off camera, Tony, cut the shit. And then Jade, Stokely, and the baddies come to the stage. Jade introduces Stokely as the best speaker in the business today. He says, how dare you interrupt them at Double or Nothing? Us at Double or Nothing, rather. He says, it's my job to let everybody know that Jade is a queen, a goddess, our TBS champion. And we know you want a title shot, but Jade says not today. And then Kiera Hogan steps up to Athena, and a Jay comes to the stage, as does Statlander. Stokely calls out security. The refs come out to separate everybody. I think later on it was announced that they're doing, Athena versus Kiera Hogan, aren't they?
On Rampage.
On Rampage, right, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Then we got Wardlow versus JD Drake. Wardlow had no theme music till he got to the stage, and it was his old theme.
That was a miscue, wasn't it?
It really was.
Because he's just wandering down the hall, down that hallway with all the names on the wall and stuff, and it was a cool moment. But like he just, and I forget who it was, but somebody had mentioned in the dirt sheet realm that he was going to get new music that was supposed to.
I think it was Fightful.
Was it Fightful? Okay, he said he was going to get new music that was supposed to debut tonight, and. And I'm like, is this the new music? Cheers?
Yeah, no. Chanting his name. But that's kind of what it's been for a while.
Yeah.
But then it played, and I was like, why does it sound kind of tinny?
Yeah.
It's like it was just the in-arena audio, it sounded like. I don't know what. Maybe it's just my imagination. I don't know. Anyways, Wardlow beat JD Drake real quick. So then Tony Schiavone comes to the ring for an interview. He's basically instantly interrupted by Mark Sterling with a bunch of security. And Sterling sends one of the security guards up ahead. and he serves Wardlow with some papers, and apparently Sterling has filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of all the security guards that Wardlow has beat up throughout the weeks.
Yeah.
And so Wardlow takes this document, looks at it, power bombs the guy who served him with the papers, rips him up, and then shoves it in the dude's mouth.
So I wonder if this is like, somebody challenged Tony Khan, was like, hey, Tony, you know how you like to take WWE ideas and make them better? Try this. The lawsuit angle. See what you can do with the hottest guy coming off pay-per-view where he had his most cathartic moment. And, the crowd went nuts for it. Now we're going to do a lawsuit angle.
Really challenge you here this time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it'll be entertaining as hell. I wonder who, I don't know, is there going to be some sort of central wrestling baddie who's going to be is it going to be just Tony Nese? Is he going to fight because Tony Nese is
We're going to find out that Tony Nese has passed the bar exam. Yes. Tony Nese Esquire.
Oh, that's perfect. That's good. Yeah. Nese. Attorneys at law. He's got his brother, but it's just played by Tony Nese. Another idea they're stealing from WWE.
There you go.
We can do this one better.
Tony and Tim Nese.
Yeah. Oh, man. So anyways, after that, we had an America Top Team interview. They talk about Dante Martin, the Rampage opponent for Sky. Mm-hmm. He says, Dante's got potential. He says, if you do everything right, you'll end up like Sky in a couple of years. And Sky says, all that potential is going to get you close to Genie, because he named his title after Genie Bus. Mm-hmm. He says, so enjoy your SoCal vacation. And Dante steps in, says, you know what? I think I'm better than you right now. And on Rampage, I'm going to prove it.
I don't think that's going to happen for Dante.
Probably not.
Then we got this tag match was great.
Oh, there you go. Max Friend, sorry. Says Claudio and Attorney.
There you go.
Castagnoli and Castagnoli.
There you go. This tag match was great. Britt and Jamie Hayter taking on Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. This match was physical.
Dude, it was. Oh my, that sequence where Tony German suplex Jamie and then dropped her with the tornado DDT.
And then tried to do the same off the apron. And then Ruby hits that crossbody on Jamie.
Right on her head.
The foot of the ramp. I know.
Man, that was rough.
It was rough. It was a really good match, though.
This was a really fun match. This had the crowd going pretty hardcore.
It really did. So Ruby's isolated for a bit after Britt hits her with a neck breaker on the floor. And she's taking a bunch of offense from Britt and Jamie till she hits Britt with a Saito suplex, gets hot tagged to Tony. And Tony just goes on a massive run. German suplex spot happened here. Hip attack DDT, goes for DDT off the apron on the floor. Jamie counters that with a draping DDT off the apron. Ruby takes her out with that crossbody off the top, and Britt hits Ruby with a sling blade on the floor. Back in the ring, Jamie hits Tony with a nasty sliding knee that gets a 2. She's looking for some double underhook move. Tony reverses that to an Alabama slam, tags in Ruby. She misses a top rope double stomp. Match breaks down. Jamie ends up hitting Ruby with that back breaker on the knee. Britt's in. They just isolate Ruby some more. Eventually, though, Tony distracts Britt. Ruby rolls up Britt, gets a 2, and then Ruby hits Destination Unknown to get the win. And afterwards, Jamie takes Britt's Owen tournament title and blasts Tony and Ruby with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we had our main event, Daniel Garcia versus Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley was bleeding a lot. That bit where he chucked Garcia on the ring steps, Garcia, if that was, my hip would be broken and it'd be shattered because it was just square on his side.
It was right at the corner of the ring steps, too.
Yeah, that looked rough. And I think he needed a half second to recover from it because, man, that was ugly looking.
It was. Hell of a match, though.
Yeah, no, this is a terrific match, dude. It was great.
During this bout, they announced the Blood and Guts Detroit June 29th. So anyways, Mox is looking for a paradigm shift early. Garcia pushes them both out of the ring, and then Mox, he had some stitches in his head from Anarchy in the Arena. Those broke. He's just pouring blood everywhere.
Man, yeah.
Regal was so much fun on commentary during this match, just talking crap to Jericho about having to get his hair cut.
Oh, they were going back and forth.
It was so much
awesome,
fun.
Yeah.
So then Garcia throws Mox to the ring steps, traps his leg between the steps of the post, kicks the stairs, and starts working over Moxley's leg during the picture-in-picture commercial. Garcia hits a belly to back off the top that gets a 2 count, looking for a sharpshooter. Mox fingers to the eye. They go to the floor, and that's when Mox hits that X-plex on Garcia on the corner of the ring steps. Woo!
Yeah.
Follows with the suplex, the sorts off the top, looks for the choke. Garcia rolls through. There's a bunch of great, just one's looking for a submission, the other person counters. It was all really seamless stuff. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So they end up on the floor. Garcia jumps on Moxley's back looking for a choke. Then Moxley kind of stumbles over the timekeeper table, leaps backwards. So they crash into the table. He puts Garcia back in the ring. Jericho runs down to distract Moxley. So Garcia's looking for a roll-up. Eddie Kingston runs down, almost eats it on the way down because he's stumbling. Mox kicks out of the roll-up, hits paradigm shift, bulldog choke to get the win. And then Eddie's down there beating up on Jericho. Afterwards, Mox grabs Mike, tells Eddie, "You're a hard guy to love, but I love you. Sign me up for blood and guts."
Sign me up for blood and guts. Yeah. Yeah, that was really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Lots of blood. All right, let's go ahead and answer some questions. If you can't make the show live here on the Twitch, you can always head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Steven Larson, and leave us a question there. We got threads for every recap episode we do. Let's see here. We will start with Cameron Bartolozzo says, with Capital One's the match also happening today? Is there like a big golf thing happening?
Oh, is that the Tom Brady golf thing?
Unknown. Cameron Bartolozzo probably does. And his question is, which 4 AEW wrestlers would you like to see compete in a round of golf? In character. I want to see them in character. Eddie, number one. Eddie Kingston. Because his trash talk is probably great.
It's Eddie.
Yeah. Miro's in there.
Punk.
Okay.
It's MJF.
Okay.
And then, Miro.
And Miro. That's good stuff.
Oh, Lou says Ricky Starks. That's a good name, too.
Oh, for the fit. For the attire.
Well, he's a good trash talker, too.
He's a great trash talker. It's got the tie. It's got to be the best theme song in AEW, right?
It's one of them.
Like, not licensed. Because Cult of Personality, obviously, is a great song.
Yeah.
But, like, man, I get jazzed every time I hear a song, and it fits him so perfectly, and he does the air guitar. Dun, 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 dun. So good. Let's see here. Okay. Thomas Dunnigan says, do you think... Oh, sorry, we already talked about this, if we think the MJF storyline will lead into Tony having more of an on-screen role. You know, you had mentioned this before in reference to something else, but remember that great bit where Tony was, like, behind closed doors having a meeting with...
Yeah, Mox. Yeah, that was
something
great.
More akin to that, as
good.
opposed to him coming out every week in a leather jacket and a motorcycle. Although that'd be a pretty great troll on Eric Bischoff.
It would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
It would be pretty funny.
Let's see here.
Suplex Casey says, not a question, but thank you guys for everything. Rough week at work, so it's always nice to watch wrestling and chill with Friendo. Happy we can help Suplex Casey.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. Let's see here. Wizard of Smoke has a good question. How would we book... So there's how would we legitimately book it, but then there's also the we book Raw method. How would we book MJF versus Punk from this point on? I like the... I don't know if they'd ever do it, but I'd love to see what kind of like heat it'd be if MJF does go into All Out in Chicago, if they did it in Chicago and took that title off him there and has been built up as the biggest shit heel that the company's ever seen. Like, he's just on absolute fire. He's being the biggest turd, and he walks into Chicago and he takes that title off Punk in the main event. Ooh boy,
that'd be pretty great.
That'd be nuts. The level, man, the reaction.
Now for the We Book Raw, we need like Flesh Mechs,
multiple MJF.
Yeah, multiple that Punk has to try to beat to get to the final MJF.
Yeah, no, that's good because he's always got the trials of MJF, and it'd be like, all right, first up, you have to beat Flesh Mech MJF.
Yes, exactly.
Next, Robo MJF.
There you go, Super MJF.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All that, yes.
Yeah, super Suit MJ.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, Super Suit, yes.
Also, Wolfpack Baron Corbin.
There you go.
In the crowd. You have to fight him in the crowd. Oh, man, that'd be great. And then you have to join Sasha Banks' NWO with other Sasha Bankses.
There you go. Mayor Planet Houston says, I personally want to see a Law and Order style trial for Wardlow. What other TV shows and movies would they spoof for the trial, and how do they make it better than Eric Bischoff's trial from 2005? I don't remember Eric Bischoff's trial. I don't know. This Wardlow's like kind of on like a huge run right now. I don't think doing a comedy spoof trial is really going to be the thing that propels him to the next level.
Yeah, when this happened, I was like,
here's the thing. I was like, what are they going to do next for Wardlow? Because I didn't know. I was like, like a WWE, what they would do is have him win this huge feud that's been percolating for a while, and then he would just like win matches for some reason,
Yeah.
Without a story.
For some reason, yeah. No, I agree. I know, yeah.
So at least there's a story. Is it what I would have picked? No, but it's a story, and hopefully it's going somewhere.
You're totally on the right path, dude. Like, the Wardlow, look, it's sort of in a way mimics where he's in a legal conundrum. He goes from one legal conundrum into the next. In a way, he should have just stolen Keith Lee's theme song out of the frying pan into the fire. Because it's one legal issue into another one.
Maybe that's where the story is going. Is not Tony Nese passing the bar exam. It's Wardlow. Esquire.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Well, how about this? Don't do that. But after he beats Tony Nese, Esquire, after that, then somebody comes out and serves him with child support law papers. Hey, you have to report to family court now. And then he's got to fight somebody else but no, he goes on Maury and has to prove that he's not the dad.
Oh, wow. This is going the direction where it's just like, it's not going to get him over.
He's already over, man.
No, but like it's gonna put a halt to all that.
You know how the crowd recognized, they're like, oh man, we're just rooting for him to stop getting into legal problems. And
if you want to grind to push to a halt, you just start throwing more legal problems at a wrestler.
I was dropping Bam off at school this morning, and on my way walking back to my car, there was a dude who was walking the opposite direction. No, I was walking with her to school, and there was a guy coming away from the school. And he was on the phone with somebody saying, yeah, no, I'm trying to get this DUI issue cleared up, but, they're trying to get me to go to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, man, oh, man, there's a thing called the Lyft and Uber, my friend. Good to use it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going to do it for us, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. Tomorrow, no Smash Zone, sorry to say. No. We are doing The Numbers Don't Lie at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Does that work for you, 3 p.m. Pacific?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So we're going to be doing that. Go follow over at twitch.tv/MFSteve here. Maybe I'll do something over there. I don't know. So yeah, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald, here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the weekend wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.